Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Regaton. Yeah, let's take this forward. So we have to fight this battle since we aren't a high enough level to force them to flee. Now, when an enemy army has a ranged unit, I do recommend prioritizing them in most cases. There's some exceptions, like if the enemy army has a succubus in it that may dominate one of your units. Because the ranged unit will be firing at your army the entire time, where the melee units may take a couple turns to get to your army. They also typically prioritize your backline, your archers, which you really don't want. The healing spells hurt undead. That's what I took advantage of there. Oh yeah, I don't remember if I went over the infirmary size. So this orange bar next to the general's portrait, as you lose units, that will fill up. You'll get all of your units back after the battle so long as you don't reach this cap. After you reach the cap, I think the game, it may be random. I'm not sure how it determines which units get recovered. But you can only recover so many units per battle. But so long as the unit isn't completely wiped out, if you have a healing spell available, you can heal the unit and you'll get some of that cap back for the infirmary. Alright, this encounter can suck.
I'll take care of it.
A bright future awaits
The world
us.
has suffered enough.
I'm here. Where else would I be?
Did the world just forget me?
We should move. Weapons, spells, poisons. The art of killing is so diverse these days. A shame one life is not enough to master them all.
Ask nicely.
Whatever comes next, we'll be ready.
It might make you feel better.
All they took from me, I'll take back.
Alright. Through the mist, you spot the flickering flames of a campfire. Three figures wrapped in crusader cloaks are huddled next to it. A stout smiling dwarf, a brash dark-haired halfling, and a delicate-looking woman who appears to be very young. The crackling campfire is driving away the bleak fog, and promising warmth and rest for tired legs. Noticing you, the halfling's hand jerks toward his weapon, but then he relaxes. Hey, it's the commander himself. Don't just stand there, have a seat by the fire. It's a bit damp today, might as well dry off at least. In an amicable gesture, he passes you a large mug that smells of freshly brewed tea. Who are you? Frontline scouting party. Our senior sent us ahead to look for ambushes. We've been walking all day. We're making a bivouac, right? Is that how you say that? Go ahead. Help yourself to some tea. It's an honor for us to be sharing a campfire with the commander. Something in the way the halfling speaks sounds off. Senior instead of commanding officer. A bivouac instead of the more casual camp. Maybe he's just a new recruit. A broad smile blossoms on Sela's face. Once again, Sela has let us down with her detect evil. I never thought we'd run into such jovial company out here. I don't suppose you guys have anything stronger than tea in your canteens. At catching the halfling's conspiratorial look, she smiles even brighter. Rubbing his hands excitedly, Woljef casts a hopeful look at the mug of tea, then at you. Chief, just so you know, walking away from campfires where folks give you free food is a sin in the eyes of the gods. I'll look around to make sure that this place is safe. The location for the camp was chosen wisely. It's safe and quiet here. No tracks in sight. The air is calm. But an odd feeling of wrongness lances through you, like a sting from an angry wasp. Something isn't right. It's quiet here, alright, as the grave. I don't know why, but I don't like the feel of this place. Makes my scales stand on end. What are your names? Proudly lifting his chin, which bears a white scar, the halfling says, I'm Sergeant Velm, the leader of this gang of daredevils. You can tell by Velm's appearance that he is a fighter. He sports a nose that's been broken more than once, well-fitted gear, a gutsy spark in the eyes. All the hallmarks of a feisty, courageous warrior. The dwarf grunts and grins. Why do you call our heroic squad a gang, Velm? I am Tran, foot soldier, cook, quartermaster, and the mother hen of this lot. And the one who sets up the tent for Asti, given that she doesn't even have the muscle to drive a stake into the ground. With a smirk, Tran glances at the woman, who immediately turns red in the face. The sweet and terribly young cleric opens her mouth to say something, but shuts it immediately, and blushes even more. Finally, she mutters sheepishly, I'm Asti. Pleased to, at your service, Commander. Aren't you scared? Camped out here in the enemy territory. In enemy territory. The dwarf gives you a disapproving sidelong glance. You wound me, Commander. I've walked many roads. I know a good spot for a camp when I see one. And if a whole column of cultists marched by, they wouldn't think of checking this place. In the meantime, we'd watch quietly and count every last one. Thoroughly embarrassed, Asti adopts a serious tone and comments in Tran's direction. You and your boasting. Two comrades greet her remark with a burst of laughter. So if you sit by the campfire, you have to make a series of checks, and if you fail those checks, your main character will get closer and closer to these guys, which I don't recommend. So draw your weapon. Something's not right. Attack. Smirking brazenly, Halfling licks his lips with a surprisingly long, pustule-covered red tongue. Huh. Would you look at that? He didn't buy it. Enough of this masquerade then, everyone. No more games. The figures by the fire ripple and transform. 3 gray-haired and dark-skinned elves watch you with mocking sneers. Their twisted, grimacing faces look demonic. From the haze, more, previously unseen shadows materialize. They're all just as loathsome and unsettling. The campfire emits a sickly sweet, intoxicating smell, and in the squat kettle, you see some slimy mushrooms swimming in a disgusting, boiling slurry. Who are you? The one who is pretending to be the halfling Velm makes a face, mimicking you in an obnoxious voice. Who are you? We are servants of Lord Discari, and you are the pitiful insect that got caught in our web. The elf who is masquerading as the cleric Asti gives you a lecherous smile, enthusiastically dragging her tongue along the blade of her dagger. Did you like sweet little Asti? I keep trying to say Atsi. Did you want to play with her in your tent? You monsters. Sela looks at those who appeared to be trusted allies a moment ago with open disgust. How did I not see you for what you are right from the start? Dumb paladin. You really think your ability to sense evil can't be fooled? It can, and it is all the time. A Lady Enamora taught us long ago how to trick the likes of you. What was the point of this charade? Lady Enamora desires your head, and will gladly deliver it. The elf, whose voice's Tran was so convincing, lets out a repulsive snicker. You think I'm at your mercy? We'll see who the real prey is. I love it when prey tries to fight back.
We won't fall here.
Also, it's important to note that your buffs, the timer on them doesn't tick down when you're in dialogue.
Don't hold back!
So push into this. I'll send... my flyers into the back line.
Into the fray!
Strike!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
You should have run!
Yeah, if you decide to sit by the campfire and fail those checks, your commander will stand like right here, and all of these drow will be focusing on him. Which is not ideal. Alright, so I'm sending them ahead. I think there's more drow right here. Also, we're out tearing through these guys. I remember this fight being a little bit more difficult.
Cover me, all right? Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
You won't survive me.
Alright, and that's it.
I'm gone.
I've had trouble with this encounter before. It's playing a Slayer class, so not very tanky. And not a class you want to have on the front line. Getting pelted by all those arrows, spells, and
Can't hide this from
the
my
other
eyes.
drow.
We do it my way.
I don't remember if I covered this, but with random encounters, your typical random encounters won't have loot laying around the
Follow
map.
if you dare.
But the set random encounters, or the story-related random encounters, typically do. I guess I wouldn't call them random encounters, more like events. Alright, Nightingale Grove. This inconspicuous grove near the border of the Worldwound is nearly untouched by the foul energies of the Abyss. The rare traveler who dares pass through here can enjoy the songs of the nightingales in the trees, only to remember too late that the last birds fled this region long ago. I want to rest up real quick. Let's always put 2 into protective rituals. It's one of the most important camping slots when you're resting out and about in the Worldwound. Because you really don't want this to build up, and you want it to be able to rest more frequently, if you need to. Tell me about your homeland, Olbrig. What's our course like? Beautiful, I bet. Stunning. Forests and fields and rivers and everything in bloom. When we win, you'll see for yourself. Well, if it grows back. So unfortunately, our Scorching Ray does not work on the Grimorax because they're immune to fire damage. The cultists are pretty nasty. Once they get closer, they'll use channel negative energy and an AoE around them. And you'll come across some armies with a large amount of cultists in a single unit later on. And the damage in a unit scales with how many units are within that unit. How many models are within that unit? It's probably a better way to put that. Let's go ahead and pop this. We have to use our regular attacks on the Boomerangs. So typically, range units will be forced into melee when an enemy unit's adjacent to them, but the rangers are unique in that they don't, with a skillful repulse. After the battle, one of the soldiers noticed a half-effaced inscription on a nearby stone. What remained of the engraving led the crusaders to a secluded cave. They found a stash of miscellaneous relics that some selflessly devoted clerics had managed to rescue from fallen Dresden. They also discovered flasks of sanctified oil and boxes of reagents for rituals and sacred masses. It appeared the brave priests hid their sacred artifacts in one final attempt to save them from demonic threat. We got 25 material points and 3 energy points. And we leveled up, so we're going to grab Cure Wounds here. It restores HP to the target unit. This is a divine spell with a heal effect, and it's fantastic. We're not going to fight this army yet, because we're not equipped for that. Instead, I'm going to try and head back this way. I should be quick saving before each one of these battles, but the game does autosave. This fight's actually pretty nasty. Alright, since all 3 of these are attacking the one unit, I'm going to put him in a defensive stance. You can also see this bar ticking up as we lose units. Also, each model within a unit has so much HP. So, each model in this archer unit has 18 hit points. So you see 2 number values sometimes when they get hit. Sometimes it's only 1. If it's only 1 value, that means you didn't lose any models. Alright, let's go ahead and swing here. I'm not going to use Scorching Ray. I want to save the energy points he has. So we'll have enough buffs to regenerate them fast enough. So if you can get away without using energy points, try to do so. At least early on. Later on, it's not going to matter. Plus, later on, you'll be wiping out entire enemy armies with one spell. After driving away a swarm of demonic flies, the Crusaders discovered the remains of an unfortunate group of Mendevian knights. Their leader had a baldric with an emblem recognized by one of the soldiers. It was the crest of the infamous fallen knight Melander Linz, or Lides. We got a +2 breastplate, and crest of Melander Linz, the fallen knight. Melander Linz was one of the most notable and controversial figures of the Third Crusade. The debate still rages whether his valiant feats of strength and his willingness to make sacrifices in the name of the Crusade balance out the unholy crime that was exposed after a purge by the Inquisition. It was revealed that Melander Linz had been practicing the forbidden dark arts of magic, turning this knowledge against the demons. Shortly after the discovery, Linz decided to let the debate about his dubious methods rage on without him, and secretly left Canabris in the dead of night alongside a group of like-minded deserters. Thereafter, they waged their own war against demons, tracking down and destroying small enemy groups, but ultimately, all the members of Melander Linz's squad fell in battle. Scouts discovered evidence that, with each passing year, Linz had been descending ever deeper into his private abyss of the dark arts. He would have sacrificed everything for victory, but the question still remains whether he was a hero or a traitor. That's another relic that we can turn into a item later on. Right, Nightingale Grove.
I am never wrong.
I will help where I can.
I will lend you my aid. My tail is restless.
From me, I'll take back.
Get your hands off that. It's mine. Yours. Well, watch me. Wait, someone's here. Run! Nobody's running. Throw your weapons and fight, you cowards. I'll cut you down myself.
Begone, fiend! Fall!
A mere flesh wound. This will hurt! Don't hold back!
And that's all she wrote. A letter to a noble crusader. Hope this letter finds you in good health, Sir William. I see now with great sadness that you have quite forgotten and abandoned us. It's been 3 years since you visited your native lands, and your father at your family crypt. Last summer, some passers-by broke the lock on it and spent the night inside. As steward, I installed a new lock and cleaned up all the wreckage. Your servant who went missing, whom you inquired after in your previous letter, has indeed been seen, but at present, his precise whereabouts are unknown. He came to us, looked at us with contempt, said something through his teeth, gathered taxes for you, ate a whole goose for free at the tavern, jumped on his horse and galloped off. If he went missing somewhere on the road, we wouldn't know anything about it. It's been a complete disaster here, even without missing strangers to account for. 7 days ago, all cows gave black milk, and the milkman, who tasted it out of a drunken stupidity, died in the pain of twisted bowels. There's something wrong with the spring. The water stinks of rotten eggs, and the cattle won't drink it. Besides, some scoundrel threw some dead dogs into the closest well. The one on the crossroads, so we filled it with soil. I expect the demons are giving us trouble any way they can. Our cattle are dying of thirst. Children are going missing in your protected forest. The woodcutters saw some scarecrows which they swore were alive. They spoke of angry faces and bared teeth. They were afraid to get too close, and watched them from afar. Frightening things are going on in the woods. I fear that witches and demons have settled in your protected forests to do their wicked mischief. They're probably the ones who picked the bones of your servant who's gone missing, and you ask us as if you suspect us of being involved, as if we could kill and rob an honest man. It's upsetting, Sir William. We never touched your servant, and if we did, he was a wretched man, smug and nasty. And we have no food or water, and our children are going missing. Instead of serving your Lady Galfrey, you should be home defending us, and bringing us food. You must have some gold, Lord, our Lord that you are. There's no one to protect us besides you. The city lads only come to find new recruits and take our gold. They don't have the authority to do anything more. And the send-off we give our lads and lasses they take. The whole village comes to say farewell, just like it's a funeral. None of them have returned to the village yet. We are dying. So I'll tell you the honest truth, Sir William. We cannot live like that anymore. We cannot die in such terrible conditions either. So we agreed with our neighbors to burn down your forest on the next new moon. Your protected forest where the dark beasts live. We'll surround it, set it on fire from all sides, and hire a wizard to steer the wind. We won't be put off just because the forest is protected, or because no one may shoot game there or enter therein, or cut down its trees. Of course, you'll be very angry at us for burning down your family forest, because we've already been cutting its wood and shooting game there, where there's nothing else to eat and no other wood. We won't let the forest beast steal our children. If you wish, come and execute me. Execute all of us. But we won't put up with this anymore. That's that. Respectfully, the steward of Vixola Village, Lord Sir William. Right, moss pottage. And a few items. We got momentum. Whenever the wielder of this +2 light hammer confirms a critical hit with it, all the members of their party are affected with the equivalent of the haste spell effect for 1d3 rounds. That's pretty great. And blood charity. Whenever the wearer of this cloak of resistance +2 lands a killing blow, they gain immunity to mind-affecting conditions for 3 rounds. I never leveled up Sunshine. Whoopsies. I have mobility, perception, and outflank. Oh, I didn't give him intelligence. So you need at least 3 intelligence for outflank. And animal companions typically only start with 2, so if we go here... Yeah. Whoopsies. That's alright, we'll correct that next time. I was gonna grab power attack.
Distract them from me!
I feel like how my paladin's not putting away his hammer.
I do
It's just
what I must.
running around with it bared. Always ready to smite.
I'm gone.
Alright, looks like we cleared out this area.
No reason to pause.
Alright, I'm gonna call it here, and next time we will continue exploring the areas on Act 2. And probably head back to camp next time as well. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.